Jerbears. I'm growing out my neck beard until I can get my hands on GTA 6. Pretty aesthetic, huh? Anyways, like many of you, I recognize that there is a decision to be made when it comes to GTA 6's 2 editions on offer. Or is there? GTA 6 is finally available for pre-order, thankfully solidifying its November 19th release date. Also being solidified, to the dismay of some, is the price point for GTA 6, which starts out at $80 for the standard edition and $100 for an ultimate edition, which is actually going to be the topic of today's video. How I think that $100 ultimate edition is actually probably just the standard edition, and we're being bamboozled, we're being played, we're being
fingered like fiddles, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm not trying to grift or clickbait anybody, even though that would probably provide me with many views, but I do genuinely believe that when it comes to GTA 6's 2 editions, that $100 Ultimate Edition, I think, is probably the edition you're supposed to go for if you want the full fat GTA 6 experience. And you know, judging by many of you who have probably been waiting since GTA 5 released for the sequel game, you probably want that full fat experience. Now, I say this very begrudgingly because I don't think Take-Two Interactive is really hurting for money, and I'm not really here to say, hey, instead of spending, you know, the more economical $80 choice, go for $100. I'm not saying that, but I do believe that if you aren't trying to miss out on anything, which unfortunately I think is very much on purpose, the Ultimate Edition may be the way to go. But let's talk about both of the editions, just in case you're not super familiar with what's on offer here. So, the Standard Edition. Your standard edition of GTA 6 is essentially what you're probably expecting from GTA 6. A huge, big open world, colorful cast of characters to love and hate and eventually cry about whenever they die, and missions where you have to drive to the mission area first before the actual mission starts. Sorry, that's one for the snark jar. One of the weird things, and definitely one of the things to be aware about when it comes to GTA 6's Standard Edition, is that both the Standard and Ultimate Edition, when coming in their physical form, is a code in a box. Essentially, what that means is you're getting a download code for buying the game physically. Now, does this mean that the physical edition has no merit to be purchased? Yes, but also maybe not. Rockstar could still be adding something into the physical edition of GTA 6. They could be adding in a map of Leonida and its surrounding areas, essentially the game map. That would be cool. I don't know if it would, you know, particularly convince people to go for a code in a box physical versus just going for a regular digital download, but I don't know. I still find value in physical games and the physical, you know, box up on a shelf, but your mileage may vary. This could be for a variety of reasons, and the obvious cynical reasoning might be that Take-Two are evil corporate rat bastards that want the secondhand market and the rental market to crumble and collapse. The other reasoning could just be that Take-Two would like to avoid a street leak scenario, in which people can get early access to the game through a retailer selling the game earlier than anticipated. Both things can be true. According to like a single Rockstar support statement, there are planned physical discs happening in the months coming after launch, but then there's also insider reports that say no, actually there are no physical discs reported to be happening for GTA 6. So who to believe? I don't know. A random support chatbot or some insiders who are inside Rockstar as we speak? You know, the choice is yours. Do you want to have some hopium and copium that maybe will have a true physical GTA 6 release with maybe 3 or 4 discs as install discs? All we know is that at launch, there's just going to be a physical retail box with a download code. So yeah, with the standard edition, pretty much what you're expecting is going to be a retail download code in a box, or again, just a digital download, which I'm assuming is probably going to be one of the more popular options. And it's all coming in at $80. And honestly, with the hype, the amount of work and money invested, and the potential end product, I think $80 is a fair price point. So, as the observant gamer that you are, you probably noticed that GTA 6 does indeed have an Ultimate Edition. Ultimate Editions are usually reserved for cool collector's items, DLCs, DLC season passes, or in some very common cases, especially when it comes to yearly releases or things of that nature, early access to a game. You know, play a week early, play 5 days early, that type of stuff. So, what does Rockstar and Take-Two have in store for people who've spent an extra $20 to play GTA 6 in its Ultimate Edition form? Weapons, vehicles, and a slew of cosmetics for Jason and Lucia. And this, Jerbears and Jerbabes, is where my problem lies. When looking at Rockstar's website detailing pre-orders, you get to see the Ultimate Edition inclusions, which, honestly, start to feel more like Standard Edition exclusions. I know, very obvious. Anyways, let's talk about the stuff in the Ultimate Edition that I'm so worked up about. Rideout Customs, Sarah's Unisex Salon, Stock 305, Electric Fang Tattoo, and One-Eyed Willies. Businesses in Vice City that are, from what I can gather, limited only to owners of the Ultimate Edition of GTA 6. And that's my biggest gripe with the Ultimate Edition. Seriously, that's genuinely it. That's the only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to the Ultimate Edition, and it's literally the fact that some of the stores and some of the shop services are locked behind the Ultimate Edition paywall. Personally speaking, the Ultimate Edition for GTA 6 doesn't feel like an Ultimate Edition. It feels like it's supposed to be the Standard Edition, the version of the game that you were supposed to get from the get-go. But instead of getting a meal and also getting fries alongside it as the ultimate combo meal, they essentially took some ingredients out of your sandwich and then sold it to you for an extra price, saying that that's the ultimate sandwich. Do you get what I'm meaning? Do you understand my fat people analogy? And I get it, you know, as a Standard Edition plebeian, all the main things that you're going to be missing out on are essentially cosmetic. A lot of it is clothes, a lot of it is going to be weapon skins, vehicle customization, that kind of stuff. But that's exactly the issue, isn't it? You're dishing out $80 for a single player experience where you essentially are hoping and anticipating a full fat experience. You're kind of expecting the full shebang, aren't you? And obviously there's probably going to be car shops and clothing shops, tattoo shops, weapon shops, any other kind of shops that Leonida has in store for you. But knowing that in the Ultimate Edition, there's probably a handful of shops and even more items that are locked behind that $20 paywall, I can't help but feel that the Standard Edition is starting to miss out on a little bit more than what we're seeing. Obviously, Rockstar isn't crazy enough to put such an integral part of GTA's identity behind a paywall, but they are definitely cutting some of it and putting it behind that paywall. And as a gamer who absolutely loves just, you know, playing around in these worlds, customizing my characters, customizing my cars, just pretty much getting the full experience that I paid for and more, it feels like I kind of have to buy that Ultimate Edition because I want everything that the game has to offer. Honestly, tinfoil hat moment here. I think that $100 Ultimate Edition for GTA 6 was probably the only edition that Rockstar and Take-Two had in mind for the game. You guys remember when, you know, a couple of months or maybe even like a year ago, some insider and analysts were saying that like some developers wanted the game to be like $100? I genuinely believe that Rockstar and Take-Two could have just presented GTA 6 as a $100 game. I mean, it's got a $1 to $2 billion budget apparently. The last game in the series, GTA 5, was literally the second best-selling game of all time, and the last game that Rockstar put out, Red Dead Redemption 2, is the third best-selling game of all time. And also, not to mention, GTA Online, which continues to be a stupid fat cash cow for Rockstar. And to top it all off, you have a hype cycle that has literally been building for a decade plus. If you were Rockstar and Take-Two, why wouldn't you charge $100 for the base edition of this game? So yeah, that's essentially my main thing. I feel like the $80 edition of GTA 6 was essentially a way to soften the blow for having to pay a full Benjamin for GTA 6. And not even to soften the blow, but I think to push some people either on the fence to buy the game entirely for that $100 price point, or to just dip their toes in for $80. Because when it comes to something like this, that FOMO crowd, aka me, will be looking at that fuller package.
Pause.
I mean, a few cars, a few weapons, cosmetic things, that I get. But shops and services and what seems to be dungeons, that part I kind of I don't like the idea that, you know, it feels like they just trim those pieces out and then slap the $20 paywall on them. And I know that, you know, this is Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive. They've done this before. They've literally done premium editions for their single player experiences in the past where, you know, they'll give you weapon skins or horse skins, or even like in Red Dead Redemption 2 where they give you full bank robberies that you don't have access to if you go for the standard edition. But like, that doesn't help. That it sucks. It sucks either way you put it, you know. Some postscripts that I have about this conversation. I don't think this is going to influence a large majority of studios to all of a sudden start charging $80 for their games. I think most of them recognize that $80 price point is honestly reserved for the big three, Rockstar, and maybe a few other studios that can realistically ask for that $80 price point. I know it sucks, you know, trust me, I don't like paying more for my games, but at the end of the day, it's the consumers that realistically decide, hey, here's what we should spend money on, here's what we shouldn't. And unfortunately, most of the consumers nowadays just don't really put much effort into thinking about what they spend their money on. There's a little reason why Madden and 2K and EGA Golf Tour are yearly titles, because people buy those games yearly, and sometimes people buy those games at their highest price point, which, you know, further incentivizes this kind of, hey, buy this, play early, or buy this, get this type of mentality with game publishers. What I do fear the industry will follow suit with is the code in the box nonsense that's happening. Hey there, Jerbears. Editor Jeremy here with some pretty horrible news coming from PlayStation. They just recently updated on their PlayStation blog for July 1st, 2026, that they will no longer be moving forward with physical media when it comes to their video games starting January 2028 for any of the PlayStation consoles. So I'm assuming that just means the PlayStation 5 cross-gen games and then obviously the PlayStation 6. Pretty horrible situation all around. Not really looking good for physical media collectors like me out there, or even just people who are interested in preserving games or wanting to have easier access to games. This is just generally not a good idea for anybody except for obviously Sony and PlayStation for their profits. But yeah, I guess GTA 6 just beat them to the punch, and they were able to get that physical download code in the box, you know, put out there before everybody else started doing it. But yeah, unfortunate news coming from PlayStation. Hopefully this brings up more conversation about, you know, what we can do in terms of preserving some of this media. And, you know, honestly, at a time right now, or at a time like right now where storage is getting more expensive, games are getting bigger, hopefully this does create a push for, you know, more compressed games or better optimization, or, you know, hey, just give us back physical media, you know, that would be awesome. But yeah, sorry to interrupt and sorry to bring such dire news, but hopefully you enjoy the rest of the video. Obviously, it's already happened before, things like Fortnite or other mainly digital titles. But I still do think that this may embolden some publishers to start looking at GTA 6 as an example of, hey, look, they had a code in the box and they still sold really well physically. That must mean the consumers want that type of stuff. And realistically, the erasure of any of these true physicals will just give publishers the power to essentially take games away, start pushing for their live service games, and essentially stop you from being able to access any of their older titles. A code in a box essentially erases some of the most accessible ways to actually play games nowadays, whether it be through rental services, the secondhand market, or just literally lending a game to a friend. I hope that the wheels are already set in motion for a true physical to come out with GTA 6, but only time will tell. And judging from GTA 5's longevity, I'm sure Rockstar will have more than 3 console cycles to fix GTA 6's physical problem. You know how much it's gonna suck when the closest thing to a true physical GTA 6 is gonna get? is a Nintendo Switch 2 game key card. Also, as a final postscript, why are the only things I've gotten from GTA 6 2 trailers, a cover art reveal, and then immediate upselling of an Ultimate Edition? I feel like I should have at least seen like a gameplay trailer. I've seen more gameplay from the leaks that happened like a couple of years ago. Like I shouldn't be excited to see what kind of cornrows I can put on Jason and what kind of bikini I can put Lucia in.
Except, I'm very excited about that.
But seriously, I want to see more of the game. Show me why I should be spending $80 to $100 on this game. But I guess it just goes to show the confidence people have in Rockstar and what they'll be able to deliver when it comes to November 19. Well, what do you Jerbears and Jerbabes think? Are you guys going to be getting GTA 6 in either one of its editions? If so, which one? Are you going to be slumming it out with the $80 plebeians, or are you going to try and get that full fat experience with the hundos like me? Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go for it, but it feels disingenuous to, consider this like the Ultimate Edition and I guess get a few more shops and services when realistically I feel like this should always have been like the standard edition. At the end of the day, all I want them to do is shed a bit more light on what's included in the Ultimate Edition and to shed light on the game entirely. Like show me more, show me real gameplay, not just trailer snippets. Trying to sell me on your $100 game without showing me any gameplay is insane. But I'm also still buying the game, so what can I say? Be seeing you, Jerbears. Bye-bye.